everybody. It's Nancy McKay here with Women and Alcohol Live. Thank you for joining me today. I'm a certified life and Equus coach, and I love to help women with their mindset around any challenges that they're having. Um, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and so one of my natural ways to help women is if they're struggling with alcoholism, over drinking, even if you're just sober curious. I can help you work through the mindset that is really important to look at, and uh, it's so important. So a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Um, Recently, I was interviewed by Dennis Berry on the Funky Brain podcast, and that was released this week. And I'll add the link to that in the show notes after we're finished. And one of the things that so Dennis is an addiction coach as well, and a motivational speaker and an author. We had a great conversation about how mindset plays into any kind of recovery from addictions, whether it's alcohol or drugs or food or gambling, anything really. Mindset plays such a huge role. And so we spend a lot of time talking about that. And when you get the wake up call that uh, that when you finally realize that your life is unhappy, that when you're unhappy and your life, you feel like your life is turning to shit, and you've got a major case of the fuckets. That's a really good time to work with a coach, because as a coach, I can be an accountability partner for you. I can help you understand what's getting in your way, what's blocking you from creating the life that you really deserve and that you want, right? So, working with a coach is really a, a powerful tool because it helps speed up the process. You can read self-help books, and there are a lot of really wonderful books out there. I've read most of them, and many of them are on my bookcase back here. um, but the bottom line is, unless you have someone to help you put things in action, it's difficult to make changes on your own. And it that's where having a coach really comes into play. So if you're struggling with anything, I encourage you to either contact me or another coach and help you get through that particular challenge um, in a faster manner. Okay. So, one of the quotes that I absolutely adore is by Rumi, and it says, "Why do you stay in the prison when the door is so wide open?" And so many of us stay locked in these self-imposed prisons that we've put ourselves in our mind, when we don't have to do that. If we can change our thoughts and change how our feelings evolve. So, if you've watched me before, you know that I'm a major uh, mindset person. I believe that most everything begins with our mindset. And so our thoughts create our emotions, and our emotions drive our actions, and our actions create our results. So when you have a thought about something, and if it's negative, it will give you a negative emotion: anger, sadness, grief, guilt, shame, something like that. And when you're experiencing those feelings, the actions that you take reflect that, right? You pull the covers over your head, you drink more, you eat more, you do negative, you take negative actions, you do negative behaviors. And so when you do that, then you get negative results, right? So if you can change your thought even just a little bit, up the scale a little bit, um, then that your emotions will come up the emotional scale a little bit, and then your actions will change more to the positive, and then the results that you get will be more positive. So I know that sounds kind of simple and oh sure, all I have to do is change my thoughts, right? But but with practice, and if you do this on a regular basis, then that does help, and it comes into play, and you'd be surprised at how quickly things can turn around if you use this tool. So, you know, one of the things that we talk about when I'm talking about this mindset, and it's called the model, and Brooke Castillo created this, and circumstances are neutral, and we all experience pain in our lives, but we don't have to suffer. So there's another wonderful quote: pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And the suffering is when we have negative thoughts about a neutral circumstance. And so it's not the circumstance that causes our suffering, it's our thoughts about the circumstance that causes our suffering. So, keep that in mind. And it's it's such a powerful thought that our circumstance doesn't create our suffering. Our thoughts about the circumstance create our suffering. And so I just wanted um, to reiterate that, I'm bringing it up because Dennis, one of the things that Dennis pointed out during our interview was something that he read, and he took it right off my website, was, when I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2015, through that process, through my chemo treatments, and through the process of being, kind of faced with your own mortality, even though I wasn't late stage cancer, your life kind of flips in front of your eyes, right? And my perspective on life began to change. And I realized that I wasn't happy in my job. I worked for a great company, and I had a really good job, and I had great benefits, and I got paid well, and so on and so forth, but I was miserable inside with it. And I realized that it was up to me to change my circumstances, to change my thoughts about my circumstances, and then to change my circumstances, right? And so that's when things started shifting for me, and it took some time. That was 5 years ago. I retired from my corporate job a year and change ago, and I'm a life coach now, and my soul is so full. I am doing exactly what I want to do, but it took time, and it took changing. My perspective changed, my thoughts changed, my actions changed, and so all of this comes into play. When I got sober, I learned how to think differently. And because I learned how to think differently, I learned how to changed my actions. I felt I learned how to feel worthwhile. And for an alcoholic, that doesn't happen all that often. When you're deep in your disease, it's hard to feel like you're worth something, that you're worth saving. And you are. You are worth saving, and you deserve to be happy. So if you've got a challenge going on, reach out and contact me, and let's get to work, because this is your life. And, life is short. And do you want to be happy or not? It's pretty simple. If not now, when? Right? So, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, doing more of what you love and less of what you don't. If you hang out with people who are energy vampires, and that suck the energy right out of your environment, don't hang out with them as much. Hang out with people that give you energy and feed your soul and support you. You know, it right now things are kind of, our worlds are at a crossroads. We're all kind of, things are unsettled, right? And you have to be careful where you spend your energy. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, when people say, what do I do? How do I change? Well, it's right there in the word how. Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And that's exactly what you have to have and be willing to do. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself, acknowledge that there's a problem, a challenge that you need to overcome, address, change something, right? Then you have to be open-minded about solutions that are out there. Coaches, therapists, that sort of thing, accountability partners. But you have to be open-minded enough to look at different solutions than what you've looked at the past. And then you have to be willing to do the work, because none of this is easy. I'm here to tell you, it's not easy. It's simple, but this is a challenge. It's called work for a reason, and you have to do the work. You have to put in the effort to change your life. If you want something to change, you have to change, right? You have to do something different. So I just want to really encourage you to take a look at the things that are in your life that are causing you pain, because it doesn't have to be that way. But you have to be honest and open-minded and willing to do the work in order to change it. It's just that simple. So you can reach me at Nancy@AmazingOutlookCoaching.com. You can go to my website, AmazingOutlookCoaching.com, and let's get together. And if you're local to Denver or the Denver metro area, let me know. I'm running an introductory offer on my Equus coaching program, $100 off. You have to sign up by the end of the month, but it's a hot smoking deal, and it's so effective. One of my recent clients said, after working with you and the horses in this one session, I got more out of it than 4 months with my therapist. So, that's a pretty nice endorsement and a very accurate result from Equus coaching. Horses don't lie, and they will give you feedback that is incredibly valuable. I get more out of working with clients and the horses than, it's magic. It's magical. And I've got lots of testimonials on my website that echo those words. That transformational things are so different. And so I really encourage you, if you're in the Denver metro area, to reach out and let's get one of those scheduled, because I'll tell you what, that cuts right to the, you get some results really quickly with Equus coaching, and it's a kick. So the horses are beautiful, and the ranch is beautiful down in Parker, Good Burn Ranch, and so I'm very lucky to be down there working in Parker with them. So I guess that's probably enough out of me. You know how to reach me. If you want to just send me a direct message here on Facebook, you can do that. Reach out, send me an email. I've got a new ebook coming out in the next day or so, so I'll have something great for you then. And really and truly, just reach out. I can help you, and I will be your biggest cheerleader. Okay? So take it from me. It's your life, and it's your choice, and we'll see you next time. Bye.